Yeah, some more cord. Here we have paracord, 550 paracord. 50 feet with a 550-pound breaking strength. It's like a 130-pound use rating. And believe me, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about the great benefits of paracord. And there's a lot. But 50 feet of this is $7. Okay. Which, when you go over there for a bit, and more than that, double that, and get a lot more cordage. So, we need some heavier cordage. 72-pound. Strong enough for most things you're going to need. And 375 feet. No, 66. A little bit less, 260 feet. 113 pound. And here we're dealing with, well, it is more or less a twisted mason line. But we have high visibility. Good recommended thing right here. I'd rather have braided mason line that you get at a hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot. That way, when you cut it, it won't fray and untwist as badly. But here we have different cordages with their strength. You can see the price is going to relate to things. 235-pound break strength and 580 feet, quite a bit of cordage. Now this is a tarred incline, okay, which means it's going to be a lot more weather resistant. But I suppose you have to ask yourself how long of a time you're going to be staying and needing it to be tarred. So here's a couple of first options. Because most of the cordage you use will only need to be out of a thinner, lighter line. Fishing department. I'll show you this. $4.76 with this fillet knife. It's a fairly nice length blade. They're flexible, but for what you need, here's a sharp knife with sheath for under $5. We'll walk at similar things. And here's one for even less, $2.87. It has a covering sheath. If you're carrying food items, perishables, you may need to consider some form of an ice chest that you probably have already thought about. Just bringing back to mind, knife and sporting goods, $20. Do you really need that? Could you really use it effectively? Is that inappropriate? Not more knives here. What you want to consider is this knife appropriate for you and for your needs? There's a set here, yeah. And it pays, you pay a price for them. And are you truly butchering game? Huh? So look at these knives. I'm not going into whether I think any one of these is a long-term survival knife. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something to get the job done. Right? You want to get out with your family, you want to get in the woods, you want to camp. We looked at that fillet knife. I could go find a set of knives at the Dollar Tree. and be good. Think about that. Airbeds. They keep you from laying directly on the ground. You have to have a means of inflating them. Believe me, they deflate. Cots, they're great. They're heavy. They're somewhat bulky. They're cumbersome to carry. They're comfortable. And sleeping bags. These are all rated by temperatures. So if you don't have a sleeping bag, you're going to need to pick whatever sleeping bag. And down here we have camp pads. Something like this. If you have yoga mats, take a yoga mat. By all means. Flashlights. There are so many flashlights. You know, the three of us discussed it and everyone wanted me to tell you you don't need flashlights. John wanted me to tell you to go with our kerosene lanterns. But if you're not used to this stuff, the flickering lights, the lights at night, you need something to drive back fear until you're comfortable with it. Do you need 2,500 lumens? You do not. Would you be comfortable with that? Probably. But think about it, you don't need it. Why not find something you're going to be happy with? Okay? These are not good quality headlamps, but a decent headlamp is best of all. So if you can find something like this, because we're talking 3 people. So if you could have 3 headlamps, oh look there. Again, they're not worth having, but they're better than not having, and $1. Headlamps. A great place to start would be one of these each, a couple of these, just to get used to what you're liking. And some of these little cheap ones right here would be perfect. 9 LEDs, 3 AAAs, you're golden, and then a lantern, and you'd be good for the night. Tarps have their places. They make ground covering and keep you safe. Give you a dry area. Citronella candles can help keep bugs away. Bug repellents work well. I hear a lot of people talk badly about the DEET stuff, but it is by far the best. And we'll talk about wearing long socks and tucking your pant legs into them so the socks are outside the pant legs to keep ticks at bay. Right? Watch for the thing like that. My kind of mess kit right here, you know. A nice little mess kit. What is the mess kit you're going to choose? A cook kit. Because there's 3 people. Look at this one. This is $23. But this is only a dinnerware set. But you can use paper plates, plasticware, and styrofoam cups, and you can deal with those. So you're going to have to choose what you're cooking in. This Stanley Cook Kit. Cutting board, spatula, ladle, pot. Two bowls, lids, handles. You know, this isn't a bad thing to start with. $25. Do we need any of this? Not really. Do you need a machete? I'm not sure you're really truly brazing a trail. Do you need a whistle? You might want a whistle since you got a 13-year-old, depending on how familiar they are with the woods. This is designed to have a compass that can hold matches for waterproof stuff. Commando saw, you don't need that. This knife would not be a bad knife for anybody. Water bottles. How are you going to transport water? My personal recommendation, 1 gallon of water per person per day. So, I've heard a lot about these. I haven't put them to a test yet. Lots of choices. We'll get these tents with you. 3-person dome tent. 7 foot by 7 foot. Okay. That means that you have a little over 2 feet of room under best potential. You're going to be really close. If you're good with that, it's $25. You're not going to be comfortable in that for height and such. Because it's also a question of how high it goes. 42 inches. 48. A lot better choice. Here we go with something. 5-person tent. 10 foot by 8 foot. This is going to have a comfortable amount of room. 58 inches high. So not necessarily full stand up, but this is a nice size. Fairly easy transport. $50. Shelter to stay in out of the rain. Shelter to sleep in. Keeps you free from bugs at night. And do you take seating? Do you take seating? Maybe you have some. My advice would be to get matches. I like matches. That and disposable lighters. Both. With matches, you're going to need to start your fire. Don't leave home without them. The idea of personal hygiene. Washcloths, towels, hot pads for grabbing. You can use silicone if you have it. But how do you deal with this? What are you going to take for these? Plan on taking something. You'll need it. What are you going to use for cooking with? What are you going to use to cook on? You take a little basket cooker like this. If you get a small disposable barbecue grill and take it, you get just a grill from an old barbecue that somebody you know doesn't use anymore. How will you cook? We've got a mess kit we talked about, but how are you going to support it? Walmart, Dollar General, Dollar Trees, you can find tiki torches. These small ones right here, you usually find pretty inexpensively. They load up just fine with the citronella oil, and they will provide light. They will provide light, and they will keep mosquitoes down. And as you can see, we have a whole spectrum of citronella stuff available back in this area. And things like ramen soups. Easy to transport, easy to prepare. You know what you like. And then you have soups like these that, again, they'll tell you And you just add 8 cups of water, 6 cups of water, whatever. But check first, because some of these are going to want you to add milk and things like that. These can be a pretty good bargain. You also have to have a pan big enough to cook them.